Welcome to the chase, where the sense of thrill, bit of genre here, and take time, stand still, diving deep where others. Welcome to the chase, where the sense of thrill, bit of genre here, and take time, stand still, diving deep where others just pretend. They get tied on this journey, chasing descent. Welcome to the chase. Join the chase, be omnipresent. With Benn and John, no time is spent. On the trail, with chasing distance. They laugh, they grow, they choose the quest. Benn and John, where choose the quest. They laugh, they grow, they take no thoughts to rabbit holes. They take their stride. They laugh, they grow, they take no thoughts to rabbit holes. They take their strides. When adventure the heavens sent. Benn and John, chase and descent. So hit subscribe, don't be content. Join the chase, be omnipresent. With Benn and John, no time is misspent. On the trail with chase and descent. Descent. So hit subscribe, don't be content. Join the chase, be omnipresent. With Benn and John, no time is misspent. On the trail with chase and descent. Welcome to the chase. Thrill, bit of genre here, and take time, stand still, diving deep where others.
Aussie F1 driver Daniel Ricciardo has silenced his critics, qualifying 5th fastest for the Canadian Grand Prix. Our homegrown hero copped some flack in the lead-up from champion Jacques Villeneuve, who questioned whether the 34-year-old deserved a seat following some lacklustre performances, but Ricciardo wasn't having a bar of it.
I won't give him the time of day, but yeah, top 5. I've been quick all weekend. We're less than 2/10 from pole, so.
Good evening. Welcome, depending on when you're watching, obviously, but welcome to the Saturday Sport, where we catch up on the sport of the week, or not, as the case may be. Usually it's Formula One. There's no Formula One this weekend, so we'll just make shit up. No, we won't. Of course we won't. But there was something last night called it was called "Don't Ping Me When I'm on Air." Don't ping me when I'm on air. Who is that? Is that Shalini? Don't you be starting now. I'll just have to turn my phone up. Right, that's it. Phone's going off. Jesus. Stop pinging me. Do it afterwards. Right, Shalini's not well, so shh, gotta be quiet. Anyway, right. So let's cut to the chase. So let's start with Formula One, because that's my wheelhouse. So Daniel Ricciardo hasn't been doing great. He didn't start the season well. He's been outperformed by his teammate, the small Japanese chap, Yuki Tsunoda. So yeah, there's always been questions about whether he should really be in the seat, whether someone younger should get back in there or whatever. But Daniel's Daniel said there was something wrong with his car, and nobody could find anything wrong with his car. And he kept saying there was something wrong with the car. And they changed the chassis in China, and as soon as they changed the chassis, boom, he got better straight away. Of course, he got taken out in that race by the idiot Lance Stroll, who's becoming a bit of a liability around the Formula One circuit these days. But anyway, apart from that, and since then he's done pretty good. He got a fourth in Miami in the sprint race. He qualified fourth and hung on to fourth, so he did well. And he's done not too bad. He qualified fifth in Canada. He had a grid place penalty, but he still managed to bring the car home in eighth, which is a valuable 4 points for the team. And points make prizes in Formula One, big prizes, just being above the other team makes a difference of tens of millions of pounds when it comes to the prize money at the end of the year. So someone who can bring in points is valuable. Now, he was hoping to get elevated to the Formula One, the Red Bull Formula One team, to probably sit alongside Max Verstappen, but that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And Checo's got that for another year at least. I initially said it was a 2-year deal, but Christian informs it's a 1-year deal with a 1-year extension. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be coming back to the chat. So if you have any questions for me, then we can go through that as I start to run out of things to say. But when I've got stuff to say, I'll just get through it. Jacques Villeneuve, who you saw in that clip, and Jacques Villeneuve used to have lovely, long, flowing blonde hair, but he started losing his hair quite early, and he was a Formula World Champion. He won it once. Him and Schumacher were fighting it out. And obviously he decided to shave his head. And can I say, if anyone looks more like a Zika victim without being a Zika victim, it's Jacques Villeneuve. Good grief. He seems to have one of the tiniest heads I've ever seen, but with a huge face. It's not a good look, Jacques. Not a good look. Now, he was very disparaging against Daniel. And Daniel's a really popular guy in the paddock. Really popular. He's a funny guy. Everybody likes Daniel. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's always joking and laughing. And the public love him as well. And he's Australian, so that kind of helps, because Australians tend to be a bit innocuous, because they're not Americans, they're not Brits, so everybody kind of gives them a free ride, Apart from when they talk with that, I'm asking a question type thing, they always put that up talk on, and that really gets annoying quite quickly. Once you start noticing it, you notice Australians, they always end everything with a question. They always sound like they're asking a question. And it's not a good look, but that's just me. Anyway, Daniel's a really popular guy, and obviously Daniel didn't like what Villeneuve was saying about him. And quite rightly so, because he has put in a reasonable performance. But he does need to get back on his A game, and he's maybe not performing as well as he can, but Formula One, and probably more than any other sport, is run by people who we would probably think of more like accountants. Because if you are bringing in money, then your stock goes up dramatically, doesn't it? Because let's look at Ferrari. So we've got Sainz and Leclerc at Ferrari, and they get on really well. They've been doing great. Two young guys, they could run with that team for 10 years, and they could probably, they're bringing in first, seconds, thirds, they're doing really, really well. And suddenly Lewis Hamilton, who, let's face it, is past his prime, right? I'm not a Lewis Hamilton fan, hands up, cards on the table, as they say, but I'm not a Lewis Hamilton fan, but he was a fast driver, and he was a good driver. You don't get to be 7 times world champion with just a good car, because why then is the other guy not world champion instead of you? So there's got to be something about it. But Lewis Hamilton goes, I'd like to come to Ferrari, and boom, he's there. And why is that? And it's not because he's going to take him to a world champion, because Ferrari they've really set their sights on Leclerc, haven't they? But Lewis Hamilton brings other things, you know? He brings a massive fan base. He brings an awful lot of sponsorship, which is very valuable in Formula One. And maybe even he drags Adrian Newey there, because Adrian Newey has already expressed his intention, or not his intention, but his regret that he never worked with either Fernando Alonso, which he still could if he went to Aston Martin, or Lewis Hamilton, which he could if he goes to Ferrari, because I think he missed Hamilton. He was out of McLaren by the time Hamilton went to McLaren. So he could have worked with him there, but obviously he'd already moved to Red Bull. So, sponsorship's really, really valuable. And you know how the Visa Cash App thing is sponsoring Red Bull's junior team, which used to be called Toro Rosso, or Alpha Tauri as it was last year. And now it's RB Visa Cash App. It's a hell of a name for a team. But that sponsorship deal is worth £35 million a year, £35 million a year. That's a lot of money, because you know the budget cap I think for Formula One is 125 million. So that's bringing in a substantial part of your budget. And the rumour is that those sponsors went with RB because Daniel Ricciardo was there. So if Daniel Ricciardo left or was let go, and you brought in someone like Liam Lawson, who looks like a great driver, puts in fantastic times, did well in the lower formulas, guy deserves a chance. But the problem is, he's not got the experience, and he's not got the sponsorship weight behind him. He's not bringing money to the team. And people like Lance Stroll, he brought money to the team because he brought his dad, and his dad bought the team, you know. But Liam Lawson's not able to do that, and that's the problem. That really is the problem. So I think Ricciardo is probably safe this year at RB, probably. If he keeps, I mean, they'll look at it obviously, but if he keeps putting in a good performance against Tsunoda, who they've already signed for another year, then I pretty much think they might just take that team as settled and move it forward like that. So that would be that. And Jacques Villeneuve really, he's looking at it from a very visceral point of view and not being very analytical at all, because he's not thinking of all the things that fall into place behind it, like the sponsorship deal, the wealth of experience, the ability to set up a car. I mean, let's face it, Ricciardo knew there was something wrong with the car when no one could find it. I mean, he couldn't put his finger on it. He couldn't say it was this, but he knew there was something wrong with the car. And when they changed the car, he got much better, and you know his performance has improved dramatically. So I think there are values to having someone like Daniel Ricciardo in your team, and I think he'll probably stay at RB this year. So we'll see how that goes. So I don't think there's not much not an awful lot left in the F1 this to talk about. The race was fairly unremarkable, to be fair. You know, Verstappen won it. Lando did a great job. George Russell went backwards, which he normally does. I'm not a great fan of George Russell. George Russell's a great fan of George Russell, but I'm not. I like Lando Norris. If I had to pick a British driver, it would have to be Lando Norris, not Hamilton, and certainly not Russell. How many left? Oh, I think I don't even know if we're halfway through the season yet. So what have we done? No, I think we've still got about 14 races left or something. So we've got quite a lot. Oh, right. That's not me in the chat now. That's obviously Ben. He's impersonating me. It was the opening of Euro 2024 last night. And our First Minister of Scotland, John Swinney, was there, dressed in a Scotland top and looking like he needed a bra. I mean, I think maybe I need a bra, but he definitely didn't look. I mean, for a guy that allegedly, well, he is skinny. He looks a bit like, he reminds me of someone like something out of Salem's Lot or something like that. You know, he isn't a good looking, guy, he looks like an undertaker. But he doesn't look good in a Scotland top. And he certainly doesn't look good in a kilt. I nearly said it. But he doesn't look good in a kilt. But the Scottish fans looked like they were having fun, and I saw them one day. We were on live stream last night, and I probably had a better time talking to Ben than I would have had watching a football game. I can assure you of that, and talking to you guys, of course. But yeah, so the Scottish fans have done reasonably well, I think. I don't think they've wrecked too much, and they kind of expect things to go the way they went. So we're never that disappointed when we lose. And as I said last night, scoring a goal, even though it was a deflection, it's still a goal. Still a goal. We'll take that. Cheers. Oh, right. Kate's back. What do you think of that? Kate's back. She was at the tripping of the colour and the carriage with the kids, and she was on the balcony, and I looked in and saw her, and wasn't a double. Didn't look like AI. It looked real. So I think Kate's back. So my theory could still stand, because obviously, remember we were told that she might not appear at all. Well, at that point, I think she was still in a coma, and they were worried, and they were thinking, why is she not coming out of it? But now that she's come out of her coma, and she's obviously, they're going to have to feed her up a bit, because she looks really, really skinny, very emaciated. But yeah, I mean, she was never fat to start with. But yeah, so she's back, and she looked all right, I think. I don't think there was any really. I didn't really see any interaction with William or anything like that. But the people said she wasn't going to appear at all ever again. What did you say to that then? What do you say to that? Because, in fact, I think you were one of them, Shalini. Did you not think that she would never appear again? Well, what do you say now? Ben says she has, well, in fact, well, let's just put this comment. We can do this, of course, because, and while it might look like I'm putting my own comments up, oh no, I can't. Yeah. She has indeed made a whole bunch of social media influencers look very stupid. She has. And a substantial amount of people on Twitter, truthers if you use that term. So yeah, Kate's back. Dripping in the colour. Didn't really watch it. I saw the fly past thing. I think they used the entire RAF. Every plane in the RAF today, just about, was out and past them. Must have been everything we've got left. It did take a while. They didn't look terribly impressed either, to be fair. Kate looked well, but very gaunt. Yeah, she did. Robin replaced. Yeah. Sure thing, Robin. Keep taking the tablets, Mike. Keep taking the tablets. Kate looked well, but very gaunt. Blah, blah, blah. She made a whole... Yeah, right. Okay. So, yeah. Glasgow looks like riots have occurred most days anyway. Well, why are we talking about Glasgow, Ben? What's that got to do with it? I don't understand. Glasgow doesn't look like that at all, to be fair. Glasgow's not a bad town to go out for a night out in. Hey, she has always been skinny, you're right. And yes, Ben has been saying for months that this would happen. She would appear and everybody's going to look stupid. And they do. Well, they do. Apart from me, because my theory still stands. In fact, I think my theory is even stronger now. Because remember, they said she wasn't coming to Dripping of the Colour. She wasn't going to be in any more public appearances, possibly even this year. At that point, they were worried because they thought she's not winging it up. But then she woke up and she went, "Oh, how long have I been out?" "Well, you've only been out of it for 6 months, doll." So yeah. So you fill me in on what's happened. Well, we tried to we tried to patch you off with a Photoshop picture. That didn't get down well. And then we put in some cheap doubles. Or the son did, or whatever it was. Put some cheap doubles in and made a video, and that didn't get down well either. And then we thought, maybe we better stop this. So then we thought, we'll try and wake you up, and luckily it's worked and you're here. I don't know when I can play. I don't follow football, to be fair. So I shouldn't even really be putting football on the thing. Right, so what else do I want to cover? Because Hyperia's broken down again. Ben will be pleased to know. And because he's due to go on it in a couple of weeks' time. I think he's booked on it. But yeah, so I was asking what the mean runtime is between breakdowns, because it must only be like days, because it broke down the day after it opened. And it was off for what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? I don't know. And then it started again I don't know what, a week ago, and now it's shut down again for a day, and it's not on today. It's off all day today. Yeah, it is new, but teething problems gone to Ben. All coasters go through them. Mac rides make great coasters, blah, blah, blah. I think he's got a little chubby on for our German friends that make roller coasters. Apparently since 1780. I didn't realise they were making roller coasters in 1780. What were they using? I saw that, right? And I've seen the statement from Surrey Police, because it wasn't the Met, it was Surrey that did it. So the cow had escaped. It was a big calf, and it was running about, and it had loads of reports of it running into cars and gardens, and cows do cause an incredible amount of damage. I've dealt with loose cows before. In fact, we had a horrific accident on the A78. When some cows escaped and went onto the dual carriageway, and cars ploughed into them, and there was carnage, cars upside down. In fact, I remember opening the door of one car, and there's a guy upside down in it. And I says, "Well, you're looking pretty bad, mate. I'll get the doctor." And he's going, "I'm a doctor." So I was going, "Oh, you'll be all right. You can fix yourself then." No, they ran it over. They ran it over with a car. So they ran the cow down and then pinned it by, I think, putting the front valance of the car over its head. So the cow's okay, right? So the cow's now recovering. It had a deep cut to its leg, but it's been treated by the vet, and it's been taken to a field or wherever you take cows. And it's been stitched up, and it is recovering. It's probably a bit traumatised, but there you go. Of course, Jeremy Vine had to get his thing, his neb in, didn't he? And he's going, it's like, at least Chris Packham knows about it. And I thought, what does it matter if Chris Packham? Who cares if Chris Packham's on the case? What is Chris Packham? Officer in charge of cows. Officer in charge of police running into cows. I mean, what nonsense is that? It's just absolutely nonsense. So yeah. Well, you know what? That cow might have been lucky to get run down, because the next step might have been to shoot it. And the thing is, you go to a vet and you go, "What can we do?" And they'll go, "We'll just shoot it." And we'll, can we anaesthetise it? And they'd go, "Nah, it never really works that well." And it's only a cow, so just shoot it. That's the kind of advice you'd get from a vet, and you're like, "All right, okay." So yeah, I mean, I've been at a few things where we've had to terminate animals, horses and dogs, and we won't go into that. I'll keep that for the book. Oh, yeah. So yeah, the cow's probably fortunate. If it had been in the Met, it'd probably have been shot. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's okay, Robin. You got to look after your food. You don't want to harm it, and certainly when it's food that's running about, you don't want it stressed, because it's bad for the meat. So you want it to What am I drinking? No, it's Sauvignon Blanc. There you go. Chardonnay. What do you take me for? Do you take me for a white shoe wearing girl? Cows are stupid. Cows are funny, and if you're ever lost in the country, and you're crossing a field, or you're looking for someone who's lost in the country, and you're seeing cows crossing a field, all going in one direction, cows will always go towards people because they're interested, and they're nosy little buggers, or big buggers. Sheep, on the other hand, always run away from people. So if the sheep are running one direction and the cows are running the other, the person is in between the sheep and the cows. Yeah, so there you go. No, I never saw the cow that got heli lifted. Shalini, no more alcohol yet. Everything in moderation, Shalini, in moderation. Cheers. Right, what else we got? Anything else we want to cover? So we've done what's it called? Tripling of the colour, and Kate's appeared, so that's got to put all that to bed. That's Ray, who's sometimes in our chat, is on Twitter moaning about being inundated by Polish tweets. I don't know what's happened. See, I get the same thing with bike wankers. I continually get bike wankers. In fact, I actually replied to Vine today because it was him that said that stupid comment about Packham being on the case. So I said to him, well, what would you want? You know, do you want... In fact, I said, it's just a pity you didn't have video of yourself getting taken out by the cow because the police hadn't secured it, you know? But yeah, I mean, imagine if I nearly ran into a cow one night on the way home. I was coming home from work after a back shift. It was really late at night, and I'm hammering down the back road. I was on a motorcycle, so I'm doing like 60. I'm doing like 60 miles an hour down these backcountry roads, heading towards where I used to stay. And I come round this corner, and there's these two red lights in front of me, and they're moving. You know, they're bobbing up and down like that. I thought, what the hell is that? And I thought, that's really weird. And they're on the road, and I'm thinking, what is that? And I start slowing down, and it was a huge black cow. Now, if I hadn't slowed down, I'd have piled into that thing. You know, so you gotta be careful. And you certainly don't want to be a lion. Imagine if you did a lion on a cow and you got your head stuck. You'd be like that. You need to listen to yesterday's broadcast to find out what happened with the lions. And strangely enough, it's suitable for all advertisers. So RCW says he's tired of seeing people in adverts. Well, you know what? I was actually listening to a guy on YouTube of all places, that was going on about standing up for Western civilization should stand up for its right, and they should deport people that don't adhere to its principles. And I think that's probably right. It should deport people, and that's not to say you deport everyone, because while there are, let's just say, radicals in every walk of life, or even in some cults, not everyone's a radical. So there are some who are sitting on the fence. In fact, there's quite a few who leave the cult once they actually experience Western civilization, because they become westernized and they don't want to behave the way that the cult tells them to, especially if they're growing up as girls in this country and they're exposed to Western civilization, because they go one of either two ways. They either get, and sometimes this is bad, because they get assaulted by their own family because they won't kowtow to the cult, and then so they either go all the way cult, or they leave the cult. And you should encourage people to leave cults, because cults aren't a good thing. you don't really want to be in a cult. You should be able to make your own decisions and adhere to, general society. I think that's quite fair. Yeah, so there we go. We covered that, Brit, mate. We covered that last night. I'm not doing it again. But yeah, impressive. Impressive. Absolutely, very impressive. Take my hat off to you, Scully. In fact, I could hang on. Let's not go there. Stop that, Brit, mate. Stop it. Yeah. Right. Anything else we want? What else? Let's have a look and see if we've got anything that we want to cover. Where are my bookmarks? Let's have a quick look at my bookmarks. Bill Belichick, 72, is dating a 24-year-old former cheerleader. So Bill Belichick is the former, I think he might still be the coach. He's one of the coaches of the New England Patriots, the team that Tom Brady used to play for. It won the Super Bowl a number of times. Yeah, and and someone says, I wonder what it feels like to be a single 70-year-old man dating a woman who you know is only with you for the money. Well, let's face it. Both sides are getting something out of this, aren't they? Both sides are getting something out of it, So, fair play. If two consenting adults, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. I don't think there's anything else. There's some stuff for All In, or maybe even tomorrow or something like that. We'll see. Yeah, that's a good one though. And Wayne, sick of it, on Twitter, he came up with he posted this. The Washington Post had posted, "Why doesn't Argentina have more black players in the World Cup?" And Le Libertad Avenza, which is obviously a Argentinian account, had said, because we are a country, not a Disney movie. And let's just dip a little bit into The Acolyte. Now, I've not seen The Acolyte, but I've seen many, many reviews on The Acolyte, which is Star Wars gone full girl boss, full girl power, two female directors, I think, and they are spunking money as if it's going out of fashion. In fact, I believe the third episode there has something like a 16% audience rating, which is, I don't think anyone's ever been that low. And Ben will maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but they are in the tank when it comes to things like this. So I'll come back to the RCW about Argentina and France, but yeah. So the copium that's coming out of Bob Iger is actually incredible. With regard to The Acolyte, and some of the thing is the discrepancy between the critics and the audience is amazing, because you've got 16% audience rating and an 84% critic rating. How can that? So you're telling me that the critics are saying this is great. It's 84% of them are saying it's great, right? Or I know that's not what it means, but so it's brilliant, and yet the audience 16% are saying it's good. That's a massive discrepancy. So somebody's got it wrong, and judging from what I've seen and the people I've listened to on YouTube and clips I've seen on some of the interviews with the actors, yes, it's just awful. The thing, I can't recommend that anyone goes and watches it, because I think, I think you would rather take your eyeballs out with a spoon, than watch The Acolyte. I think it's that bad. So yeah, I think I don't know why George sold it as Lucasfilm. He should just have sold them the rights to Star Wars. He shouldn't have sold Lucasfilm. They shouldn't be able to use that name because that's besmirching. It's besmirching his good name. It really is. To be fair, Disney's ruining quite a lot of things at the moment. They really are. Yeah. Is that her with the really thick neck? I mean, you don't often see women with necks as thick as that. Yeah. Yes, former assistant to Harvey Weinstein. That's right. Former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein. So she's obviously got a bit of a beef. Yeah, I think Disney are destroying that, and they're destroying Doctor Who as well. Why Disney even involved in Doctor Who? What's happened there? So obviously the company that makes Doctor Who has sold it to Disney and are sold out to Disney, and it's just gone down the tubes as well. I can't even bring myself to watch it. I think, what was the last thing I watched in Doctor Who? Who was the last real Doctor? Matt Smith. Matt Smith was okay. Yeah, he was okay. Yeah, Matt Smith. But yeah, I haven't really watched it. The girl Doctor was like a female version of oh god, let's go back in time. We're back to the guy that used to wear the stripy trousers. The one before Tristan out of it shouldn't happen to a vet was in it. Chris Eccleston was all right. He was all right. David Tennant was reasonable until I don't believe his latest incarnation was great, but David Tennant was quite good as well. But that's when Doctor Who was Doctor Who, and it's not Doctor Who anymore. As soon as they brought the girl in, it just, some things are just. You talk about this canon thing, right? And that's one of the comments that came out of the Disney stuff, because they're mucking about with the story. And one of the comments was, well, canon's just really a suggestion. Well, no, it fucking isn't. That's, if you take a backstory out of Star Wars, what the fuck have you got? I mean, what are you left with? You're left with a guy who has a hots for his sister. and basically wrecks a planet to try and get it off with his sister. Huh? So yeah. I love Doctor Who as well. The old ones are good. I liked John Pertwee. He was good, and Tom Baker was okay as well. Yeah, they were pretty cool. I liked them. They were good. The Woman Doctor was awful. Yeah. It was a start. That was the start of it running down. It was the start of the demise of Doctor Who. But hey ho, all good things come to an end. And between the BBC and Disney, Doctor Who has indeed come to an end. Yeah, DEI stands for didn't earn that. Yeah, I think you may be right, Ben. I think you may well be right. Right. Anything else? What were we? I was going to come back to France and Argentina, and Argentina's a freaking mess right now. I mean, you know that, yeah. Argentina's not a pleasant country to be in. Some estimates are saying 50% of the population is now in poverty. That's an awful lot of people in poverty. There's riots in the streets. They're petrol bombing the police. They're looting and raiding. Argentina's in full-blown meltdown. And you might think Merlou's doing a great job, but all he's doing is slowing down the rate of inflation's increase. Hasn't reversed it yet. The annual inflation rate is still just above 290%. And on the month, it's remarkably, it's come down. It was about 25% on a monthly inflation in March, and it's now down to like 9%. So yeah, but that's still an increase. It hasn't reversed it yet. It's not coming down yet. So I'm not convinced about this guy, Millet. And You know, some of the economic forecasts for Argentina are something like 146% inflation rate by end of the year. That's a long way to go, and these austerity measures are really biting into people. They're really hurting them. So yeah, Argentina's it might be more white than France, but it's not somewhere you want to rush off to. Not at the moment. Right, I don't know how Bitcoin solves anything. But somebody said the other day was like some guy was going on about universal basic income, or if you took digital ID and they gave you an extra £2,000 a month, would you do it? And everybody's going no, 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 and it's like, well, really, and just think about this. What difference would digital ID make or not to the way you live at the moment? How more intrusive can it actually be? Because everything's pretty intrusive as it is. If they want to track you, they can. I mean, everybody carries a tracking device about with them, and just because you turn off tracking and things, your phone company still knows where you are. You know, with a little bit of triangulation on the cell tower, and the police do have a direct line to all the mobile phone carriers, you know. And I can personally vouch for that, because I've been in the office where that happens. And strangely enough, the ironic thing is, when you go into that office where all this happens, you're not allowed to take your mobile phone out. You've got to put it in a secure box outside the office. So no mobile phones in the office where all the stuff goes on. That was in the Scottish Crime Campus. So yeah, that's someplace. It's a bit like getting into Five, I think. You know, they've got all the different gates and doors and whatever. And then you go in with your badge, and they go, "Sorry, you need another pass." And I'm going, "But I've got a pass." And they go, "No, you need a pass just for this building." And then they make you a pass for the building. And then they say, "Go and sit over there." And he goes, "But I know where I'm going." "No, you need to be escorted." You can't do anything. The baking's going well. We just put out a stack of Father's Day boxes today. So yeah, and we sent one to another country. And then it arrived safely the next day. So there we go. And if the website is under construction still, but it is there, lapetitecherie.com. To another country. I sent it to another country, Shalini. Yeah, I can understand Brit, mate, but in real terms though, unless you take, as soon as you get your money in the bank, unless you take it out in cash, it's never going to be your money until it's gone out the bank or you've spent it, you know. If you spend it, they can track it, and, you know, the whole thing's, we are hoist by our own petard no matter what we do here. That's the problem. Unless you're truly off grid, you are a slave to the system. So really, it's just a question of how tied into the system you are. And it's getting to the point. I mean, if somebody said to me, you get £2,000 a month extra for taking a digital ID at this point in time, it's a lot of money. £2,000 a month when you're skint and you're poor. And I mean, Ben, I don't know what would make a difference to you, mate, but £2,000 a month's a lot of money, you know. And it's something you'd have to seriously consider. And that might shock you, right? That might shock you, but at this point in time, you're already tracked. You're already beholden to the government, you know. It's difficult. It's difficult. And this is why things like, you know, when we look at things like Farage and reform, and they're never going to change anything. You're never going to change anything really from inside. Because all they're going to do is make noise and... it's like we kind of fleshed it out on the hoof last night. And I think Ben and I both agree that it does appear to be a transition, a reinvention, if you think, of the Tory party, who might just reform themselves into reform, but still be the Tory party under the bonnet. It's like putting a new engine in your car, in an old car. So the car changes, but the engine's just the same. Could be. I'm not trying to normalise anything, mate. And the whole thing is a shit show as it is. And that's why if you really want change, then you have to go down what one would term an extreme route. And that's how real change occurs. And real change involves a certain degree of the breakdown of society. And that will come at some point, because no society in history has never shown us a society that has lasted forever. Everything has changed. Rome took 500 years to fall, but it did fall. So every society has its time, and then it goes down. And I mean, look what's happening just now. America's losing its power in the world. There are enclaves and factions that are developing even as we speak. With the Far East and the North and even South America changing into different incarnations of what they used to be. It's no longer just what the US says. And while the US does have a lot of sway and a lot of say, how long can it keep that? And how long can it afford to keep doing that? That's the hard part. And I don't think it can keep going much longer, the way things are going. And the Democrats just, I'm not sure what their end game is now. I don't think they even know what their end game is. Because they're bringing down their own country. And the same thing's happening here. The Tories have been doing it since really 2020. We started bringing down our own countries, and the question is, why are we doing that? And do you really think you're helping things by doing what you're doing? Rishi Sunak knew the economy was going to crash by putting on furlough. He knew that, because you can't pay people to do nothing and still have a working economy. That doesn't work. So the businesses were getting paid to pay their staff to do nothing, right? But none of that money came to the business. In fact, the business was still out of pocket if it paid their staff their full wage. Because remember, the furlough originally, I think, was something like 90% or 80%, and then it dropped down in stages. And the business could make it up to the full whack if they wanted, but they didn't have to. So no business made money out of furlough. Only people made money out of furlough. And if you were a business owner that hadn't been taking a wage, you were lined up against the wall, and you were rudely and without any regard shafted, because you couldn't get any money. And and Rishi Sunak knew exactly what that was going to mean for small businesses in particular, especially ones that had just started. Look how many 10,000 public houses closed in England in 2020 alone. But the startling fact is 4,000 not 4,000 reopened. 10,000 closed their doors never to reopen. But 4,000 new ones opened. Who opened a pub in 2020? Was this 4,000 people that had started pubs just before March? It could have been. Like, we started a gym just before March, Yeah. So, yeah. And you can't toy with an economy like that. It just doesn't work. You just can't do it. and expect things to come back on an even keel. Because we're going to have a recession, regardless of whether you think we're in one or not just now. And it's going to take a lot of time to get through this and get back. And you can't. You were right, Brit, mate. They were crazy times, and we can't allow that to happen again. Because if you give them the snifter of allowing this to happen, then the country is completely done. Absolutely, completely done. Sweden, we're fine, yeah. Sweden were absolutely fine. Denmark was very similar to Sweden. They didn't have an awful lot of restrictions either. I was in Denmark and nobody wore anything. We were still sitting having dinner in restaurants and stuff. There was no problem in Denmark, you know. Nobody asked for anything or proof of anything. So yeah, the Scandinavian countries were quite laid back. Well, all that happened is when you were going into Sweden, you didn't have to prove anything. They only asked to see my passport. They didn't ask to see anything else. And they just asked why we were coming to Sweden. We said we were looking for a house. That was that. The guy goes, happy house hunting. You know? They weren't bothered. They weren't bothered at all. All of Europe was open, Brit, mate. All of Europe was open. It didn't matter where you went in Europe. You could go anywhere. I mean, I went all across the Schengen area. I did 12 countries. 12 countries, 12,000 kilometres over a space of what? 3 months almost. We were on the road. So there was absolutely no problem. So anyway, so that's the situation in France and Argentina. Marine Le Pen made a speech there saying she would deport people that didn't fulfil their obligations to the oath they made when they were naturalised in France, which is fair. So if you don't follow the oath to follow the country rules and all that, then you get deported. And I think we should be doing exactly the same. I don't see any reason why not. If you take an oath of citizenship or an oath of residency or whatever, and you fail to adhere to that oath, then your word is no longer your bond and you should be deported. Why not? It's quite simple. There's no room for ambiguity there. You either did fulfill your obligations to the oath or you did not. If you did not, bye-bye. End of story. Solves a lot of problems. Yeah, why not? Probably get refused entry to a plane to Northern Ireland. Good grief. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, Benn went on a plane and he didn't even put on a mask. But apart from that, yeah, there we go. Right, what time's that? Oh, good grief, people, that's nearly an hour. Nearly an hour you've had me all to yourself, aren't you? Lucky people. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Our little chat on a Saturday, we've covered a little bit of the sport. I don't think there's anything more of import. I'm not sure when England plays. I did see a video of 2 girls that had made, and I don't know if I see this. This is a problem with YouTube. I don't know if I could play it on YouTube because there's a song in it, and if it's their song, that's fine. But if it's, I don't know if it's a commercial song. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll Shazam it or something, and see if it comes up in Shazam. Because if it doesn't come up as a commercial song, I could probably get away with playing it. So 2 girls made this. In fact, one of them was on Twitter. I think it was one of them that was on Twitter, showing where she was and challenging any Scotland fans to come and fight her, which seemed a bit of random. I would have thought normally it would be the other way around, but yeah. And Femi, I've got to give Femi a shout out, right? Because Femi goes, this was before the Scotland games. Femi goes, if you're a true Brit, you no matter what your politics are. You'd want a British team to win. So come on, Scotland, right? And I said, Femi, there are two things you don't understand here. One, you do not understand football. And you certainly do not understand Scotland, because when England's playing, regardless of your political persuasion or how much you like England, or even if you stay there, or even if you're on holiday with friends, you will support Abe. You always support Abe. It's just a done thing when it comes to England, because English commentators have spoiled things like the World Cup by continually mentioning 1966. In fact, you can understand why Elvis shot so many TVs, because if I had the ability, I would be doing that as well. Because it's like Toolmaker Bingo. Keith Starmer can't stop telling us. He cannot stop telling us when, that his dad was a toolmaker, and English commentators just cannot stop telling us about that one time. That one time, yeah. Oh. That's ridiculous. Sorry, it was the Netherlands that Robin was going to. He flew to France, fine, and then got the train over. Oh, that's mental. It's just crazy. That's crazy. And we went on a fact finding tour, and we took our truck over to the Netherlands on the ferry, and there was no problem at all. And that was during a tier 3 lockdown, I think. And it was when I was a tier 4, we actually moved. But yeah, you could have got the boat, no bother. We had a laugh on the boat as well. Everybody's on the boat drinking and singing songs, and nobody was given a nap back. Nobody was given any cognitions to any rules, because they were crazy. Right. I think we've had enough. I have enjoyed myself this evening, and thank you for coming here and enjoying this with me. And if you have enjoyed it, consider liking, consider sharing, and certainly consider subscribing. That's all free. However, if you do feel that you would like to contribute, you can always support us at ko-fi.com/chasing descent, or you can drop us at paypal.me/chasing descent. And you can remember to visit our sister channel, The Real Review UK. You can also join this channel by clicking the join button, which Emma, thank you, did the other night. So yeah, you can join for as little as 99 pence a month. 99 pence a month. I mean, you pay. How much do you pay for a Costa or a Starbucks these days? I mean, even a cheap one's going to cost you at least £3 or £4, and I bet you buy more than one of them a month. Yeah. So there you go. Would you like to get played out by a song? Yeah, let's see what we've got. I can give you the outro. We'll go with a proper outro tonight. So, as always, people, it's been great for me, and it's been great for you.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way, so you can go kick rocks. I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way, so you can go kick rocks. I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. For taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer.
What you say? Yeah, I'ma do shit my way, so you can go kick rocks. I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way, so you can go kick rocks. I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to